Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here today. You know, as a career coach, I spend a massive chunk of my time working with folks who are just starting out in the corporate world. They're trying to find their footing, right? They want to make a real impact. Well, today I want to share a quick story about one of my recent clients. Let's call him Alex. So, Alex is a recent grad who landed this fantastic entry-level job, but honestly almost immediately felt totally overwhelmed by the sheer volume of research, preparation, and strategic thinking they had to do every single day. It's a lot. But here's the crazy part. Within just a few weeks, Alex completely accelerated their transition into the corporate world and started performing like a seasoned pro, literally night and day. How'd they do it? By taking a tool called Perplexity and transforming it from a basic, everyday search engine into a strategic, heavy-hitting AI partner. Today, we're going to look at exactly how Alex pulled this off and how you can do the exact same thing even if you consider yourself a total beginner when it comes to technology and AI.
Okay, let's just dive right into it. We've got a fantastic roadmap for this masterclass. We'll kick things off by bridging the gap between basic searching and actual strategy. Then, we are going to walk through 3 seriously powerful hacks to level up your prompt skills: the instant brief, the citation flex, and the client-proof strategy. And finally, we'll wrap the whole thing up by looking at how you can use this to accelerate your own day-to-day workplace growth.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the search versus strategy gap.
So listen, the biggest hurdle for tech beginners, and this is exactly where Alex got stuck on day one, is fundamentally misunderstanding what this tool actually is. To fix this, we've got to understand a basic prompt framework. Think about it like this. Using a traditional search engine is kind of like using a vending machine, right? You punch in a button with a couple of basic keywords and boom, you get a prepackaged snack. It's a simple answer, it cures your immediate craving, but it definitely doesn't give you a full meal. Using a prompt framework with Perplexity, on the other hand, is like hiring your very own senior research assistant. You don't just push a button for a snack, you give them specific instructions. You assign the AI a specific job title, you tell them exactly who the audience is, and you define the exact output format you need. You're giving instructions for a strategy, not just tossing a question into the void.
Now, as you can see here, this is the exact before and after of Alex's workflow. If you use Perplexity like Google, well, you just get basic answers. You read them, you close the tab, and guess what? You're still sitting there staring at a blank page, totally stuck on what to do next. But if you treat Perplexity like a strategist, the game changes entirely. You don't just get an answer, you get content angles, you get concrete proof, and you get brilliant positioning in a matter of minutes. I'm telling you, once Alex finally kicked that old Google habit of just typing in 2 or 3 random keywords, that crippling blank page anxiety completely vanished.
Moving right along to Section 2, let's look at our very first actionable hack, the instant brief.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this is the exact method Alex used to prep for their very first major team meeting, and they did it without drowning in hours of research. Instead of typing a basic query like, "What are good marketing strategies?" which, let's be honest, is a total beginner move, you use this exact prompt format. You say, "Give me a full content brief for insert topic for insert audience with key talking points, objections, and proof." By specifically asking for talking points right alongside objections and proof, you are literally anticipating what your colleagues are going to ask before they even open their mouths. It completely turns the AI into your personal backstage strategist. Alex walked into that team meeting not just with a couple of loose ideas, but with a highly structured brief and answers to the team's potential pushback. Totally ready to go.
Okay, on to Section 3. This brings us to Hack 2, which I like to call the citation flex. This right here was the ultimate trick Alex used when they had to verify data for a high-stakes presentation that was going straight to the big boss. Because let's face it, as a junior worker, your biggest obstacle is often just a lack of perceived authority. You need proof. People want to know you've done your homework. So instead of doing a basic search like, "Is this statistic true?" you've got to demand a higher standard. Use this exact prompt. Find 5 credible sources that support this claim and summarize the key takeaway in 1 line each. It is so incredibly simple, yet so unbelievably powerful. You aren't just casually asking if a claim is true. You are demanding verified, credible backing, neatly packaged into fast 1-line summaries. When Alex handed in that presentation, it wasn't just some slide deck of opinions anymore. No way. It was an ironclad document backed by 5 credible sources. Doing this specific formatting instantly builds immense credibility and trust with your manager.
Let's jump into Section 4. Hack 3, the client-proof strategy.
So this is how Alex managed to successfully defend a brand new, kind of out-of-the-box idea to a pretty skeptical senior manager. Look, having a creative idea is awesome, but getting that idea approved, that's where most beginners hit a wall. Don't just ask the AI, "Hey, give me a cool creative idea." That's not enough.
Instead, ask it to write a client-ready explanation for why this content angle will work using simple language and logic. This prompt is absolute brilliance. What you're doing here is asking the AI to do the heavy lifting of translating a wild creative brainstorm into solid corporate logic. It ensures your ideas sound strategic, measured, and business-focused rather than just purely creative or random. When Alex used this trick, the manager didn't just hear a fun little idea. They heard a rock-solid, logical business case.
And finally, Section 5. Let's talk about how to accelerate your workplace growth.
So we've seen how Alex used these tools, but the crucial question is, how exactly are you going to apply this to your own daily tasks? By utilizing these structured prompts, you aren't just saving yourself a few minutes of typing. Honestly, you are completely transforming a beginner's daily workflow. You go from feeling totally overwhelmed to being highly productive. You get positioning in minutes instead of hours. You find credible proof instantly. You completely crush that awful blank page syndrome. You secure much faster approvals from your managers because suddenly your arguments are bulletproof. And most importantly, you elevate your personal brand. You start to sound deeply strategic rather than just being someone who throws creative ideas at the wall, hoping something eventually sticks.
All right, I really want you to take action on this today. Here is your checklist, and I strongly encourage you to try just one of these structured steps at your desk right after you finish watching this explainer. Step 1. Banish basic search keywords from your vocabulary. Remember, you are talking to a highly skilled assistant now, not a vending machine. Step 2. For whatever project is sitting on your desk right this second, write an instant brief prompt to get ahead of those objections. And step 3, the very next time you make a bold claim in an email or a slide deck, use the citation flex to demand 5 verified sources. Seriously, just try it. Watch how people react to your work.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought directly from our source material today. It says, Perplexity isn't a tool for searching, it's a tool for thinking faster. If you're using it like Google, you'll get answers. If you're using it like a strategist, you'll get content that wins. That right there, that is the absolute secret to accelerating your early career. So I leave you with this final provocative question to chew on. If you can train an AI to think like a senior strategist in seconds, how fast could you accelerate your own career? Thank you so much for joining me today. Now get out there and start prompting like a pro.